Hello children, today's topic is power sharing of class 10th. In this video, I will discuss the meaning of power sharing, forms of power sharing and why power sharing is desirable. Dear children, in this chapter we have been given two examples of power sharing. Both countries are democratic in nature, but they follow different set of sharings the power. Sharing the power. One is Belgium, in which each and every group is regarded. Another one is Sri Lanka, where the government adopt the majoritarianism type of power sharing. Let's start with the chapter. First of all, children, we should know what is power sharing. Power sharing means sharing of responsibilities and power by the different organs of the government. Means when the power is being shared among the organs of the government, that means the responsibilities are being divided among the governments, organ of governments. Now children, the second topic is form of power sharing. Form of power sharing, mostly what the country follows, the one form is horizontal power sharing. In this horizontal power sharing, what we say is legislature, executives and judiciaries. Legislatures means those who make the laws, and executives means those who executes the laws, and judiciaries means those who judge the laws. Here children, horizontal power sharing also can be said as check and balance. The another form of power sharing is vertical power sharing. In this vertical power sharing, how the power sharing is being done, that is union level, state level, local, regional or provincial level. Means in India, if we take the example of India, union means central government shares its responsibility with the state, and state government or state level shares its responsibilities with local, regional or provincial level. The third type of power sharing is social groups. Social groups, as the term defines, as the term means socially, means religious group, gender, linguistic. Religious means Hindu, Muslim, Christianity, etc. And gender means male, female. Linguistic means on the basis of language. That is social groups. The another one is political parties and pressure groups. In political parties and pressure groups also we can say that political parties sometimes share their burden with another parties, political parties, so that they should reduce their burden. Okay. The another topic is why power sharing is desirable. Means why we should share powers. There are two major objectives to share the powers. One is prudential reason. Prudential reasons means careful and sensitive reasons. Another one is moral reasons. Prudential reasons, in this we can say that power sharing is desirable to avoid conflicts. Conflicts means what we say is among the conflicts between the pressure groups, conflicts between the genders and like that. And another is ensures political stability. Political stability means, as we can see in Indian government, we elect our government for 5 years and it is stable. If there is no conflict, then only the government will be stable. The third reason is majority cannot rule over minority. Means if we take the example of any democratic country like India, what we see that the elected peoples are not of minority or not of majority. those who win the election, they can rule over the, or they can take over the responsibilities to govern the country. Another reason is moral reasons. Moral reasons means, in this moral reasons, what we can understand is spirit of democracy means every democratic feature should be there. And another is ensures legitimate government, means the government should be lawful. Then only we can say that the power sharing is desirable due to moral reasons. Okay, children, let's take the examples. That examples we are talking about, we have discussed already that in this chapter we have been given with two examples. Both examples are very contrast to each other. One is Belgium and another one is Sri Lanka. In first, let's take the power sharing in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is also a democratic country, but here what is done is there is no power sharing among majority and minority group. The term majoritism, what does it means? The term majoritism means a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in its own way. They can disregard the views and wishes of the minority. It exists in Sri Lanka, where Sinhala people are in 74% and they are the majority, and Tamils about 18%, they are in minority. That means here what we say is the Sinhalas are in majority. Children, now let's see the arrangement in Sri Lanka. The democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarism measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. Here the ethnic composition is Sinhala speaking 74%, Tamil speakers are 18%, Sri Lankan Tamils 13%, Indian Tamils 5%. Means if we see the ethnic composition, Sinhala speakers are in majority and others are in minority. What does they feel that only majorities should rule over the country? Indian Tamils are the Tamilians whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during colonial period, and they do not came back to India. They established themselves there itself. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. The governments followed preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants for university position and government jobs. Means preferential policies means only the Sinhala applicants, only the Sinhala peoples were given the position in the university or government jobs. So here children, what we had seen that the only majority rules, minorities are neglected. Now we can say that power sharing failed in Sri Lanka. Why we say that the power sharing is failed in Sri Lanka? There are many reasons. The first reason is the democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarism measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. Only means there is no power sharing, only majority rules. The another point is 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language and disregarded Tamilians. Means the Tamilians, the minorities were being not regarded. They were not kept in the mind for the government power sharing. The another point is The new constitution advocated that the state shall promote. The new constitution advocated that the state shall protect and promote Buddhism. Means they have the religion also, their country's religion, their national religion, that is Buddhism. Thus the Sri Lankan Tamils felt that the Sinhala government was insensitive towards their language and culture. Means the language was Sinhalese language and the religion was Buddhism. The last was that leaders of the Sinhala community sought to secure dominance over government by virtue of their majority and refused to share powers with the Tamilians. So the government fails to power sharing. There is, means we can say that in Sri Lanka there is no power sharing, only majority rules. Now children, let's take the another case, that is Belgium. In Belgium, the accommodation of power sharing is very much different. The power sharing arrangement made in Belgium, means we can say that Belgium model is very best in the democratic form of government. Here we see the composition of ethnic composition of Belgium. 59% Flemish speaks Dutch. 40% Wallonia speaks French. 1% Belgians speaks German. The very different thing what we see is in capital the position is very much different from the country. In capital is Brussels city. 80% people speaks French and 20% people speaks Dutch. The minority French speaking community was rich and powerful. This led to tension between the two communities, means in Dutch and French. During the 1950s and 1960s, another cause of tension was that although the Dutch-speaking people constituted a majority in the country, they were in minority in a capital. Means those ethnic group which were in the majority in country and they were in minority in the capital. Between 1970 and 1993, Belgium leaders decided to make arrangement so that the power sharing should be done very much in the form of or to the govern the country very well. So what they did, they amended their constitutions 4 times. What were the features? The features of the amendment was, which was done between 1970 to 1993, it was the constitution provides that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in central government. Many powers of the central government have been given to the state government for 2 regions of the country. The one is the state governments are not subordinate to the central government. The third one was Brussels capital has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representations. Means the Dutch and the French peoples were equal in the representation in the capital. Apart from this, the amendment was done that central and the state government, there is a third kind of government. This is known as community government. The community government is elected by the people belonging to one language community. Means Dutch people will be having their own community, French people will be having their own community. Means here we can say that the power sharing has been done in a very powerful manner. Here now we can say that how power sharing is good and how the power sharing is being affected in the country.